Hi guys, welcome back to Mommy and Carson. We are in week 37 of pregnancy and it has just blown right past us. However, we are currently in the middle of a pandemic and it has really just changed so many things. I know we're all dealing with difficult times right now and trying to get through this, but being pregnant during this pandemic is really hard. There's so many things that are unknown, especially for pregnant women catching it or having the virus. Too much information or stuff that supports what can happen to a pregnant woman or the unborn baby. It has been really hard the past 25 days. I've been in quarantine for 25 days. I have not left my house since March 15th. And today is, I think today is April 9th. Yes, today is April 9th. So it's been a total of 25 days that Carson and I have not left the house. Chris was doing grocery runs and like essential things that we needed for pickups. He was doing those once in a while, but I came across the app Shipt, S-H-I-P-T, and I was able to get a time slot. So this week we were due for things because our fridge was like almost empty, but we were able to use this app that, like I said, I got really lucky to get a time slot for the following day. And the time slot that I chose did not, they didn't hold up to it, but they did text me to let me know that it was coming later in the day. So it did arrive, we did get it, and it was really helpful because, whew, I need to slow down. My breath is gone quick. So, because we're getting so close to the time that the baby will be born, I really don't want him going out to be exposed to anything. And the supermarket that's local to us did have a case. So that's a little scary because you don't know who else has been exposed to that person. You don't know who in the stores is exposed to it. So there's just a lot of things that frighten me and worry me, especially as we get closer to having this baby. So 37 weeks pregnant. I had my 37-week appointment this week and I am not progressing. My cervix is doing a whole bunch of nothing. I hate my cervix. And the doctor said the same as last week, which I was like only a fingertip, which I guess is like 1 centimeter, which I guess it's something, but it's really nothing when you think about it. And then the week prior, I had my 36-week appointment, and I don't know if you follow me on Instagram, but I did do a live video on this because I received a letter upon my departure from the doctor's office giving all of the procedures and things that are now required for the hospital due to COVID-19. And in this letter, it was basically like everything that I had read online, and it was telling you that when you come into the hospital, when you need to be masked, and before you go up to labor and delivery, your temperature will be taken. You're allowed 1 support person to be with you. So my husband can be there with me, which was a blessing because I know there's been so many expectant moms that went through this on their own, and I know that had to have been really scary. So really, really grateful that he's able to be there with me. And so sorry because it makes me really emotional, pregnancy hormones. But so I'm reading the letter. They'll check the temperatures. Then when we get up to labor and delivery, they'll check your temperatures again. And then you will be brought into the room where you will have your entire stay. Neither of us are allowed to leave the room. We're not allowed to go for walks in the hallways. We're not allowed to go to the vending machine. We're not allowed to go get ice and water. You are not allowed to leave. My husband is not allowed to leave the hospital for any reason whatsoever. If he does, he is not permitted back in. and we are given one mask for the entire time. And in that time, if we lose it, we will be asked to leave. So the mask must be worn at all times. This is to protect ourselves and to protect the staff. So I get to the bottom of the letter. Everything else seemed fairly reasonable. And, but when I get to the bottom, I saw that it said for C-section that the support person is not permitted into the OR. And I completely, like, I was gonna lose it. So I'm like reading this and I'm like, this can't be, like, am I reading this right? So I jumped out of my car because I was still in the doctor's parking lot, and I ran inside to like confirm this. And as you all know, or most of you know if you're new here, I had a C-section scheduled for April 20th. And so I went inside and I spoke with them, and they confirmed that that's correct. Your husband cannot come into the OR to be there for the C-section birth. So I lost it in the doctor's office. I was crying. I was really, really upset. And I had expressed to them that I did not want to have a C-section any longer, and I would like to try and VBAC, at least to see if my body will go into labor naturally and that my husband can be present with me. So the girl told me, oh, well, we can't cancel your C-section. So I'm like, okay, well, if I'm not going to allow you to give me a C-section, you have to cancel it. Like, if I'm not authorizing it, you're like, what are you going to do? So she says, okay, well, let me talk to the doctors and see what they're going to say and, you know, whatnot. So she called me the next morning and told me, no problem, we can cancel your C-section. She had already canceled it. So she said, they will allow me to try and VBAC, but basically if my body does not go into labor on its own by April 27th, which is my due date, then I would be scheduled the 27th for the C-section. So I'm gonna try and have my baby naturally because I want Christian to be present there. It's such a hard time being pregnant through this pandemic for these sorts of reasons, because the birth of a child that's a one-time thing. We're never going to experience this again with that baby. Like, you know, birthdays are being missed for this, for your children, and birthdays for family members, not even your children, or special occasions, but they can all be rescheduled. Sorry, guys. Just gets me so upset. Those things can all be rescheduled, right? We can have birthday parties in 2 months, and we could reschedule our weddings if we have to, you know? I mean, we don't want to, but we cannot say, yeah, I'll wait 6 months to give birth to my baby. It doesn't work that way. So it's really emotional for me. I do suffer from generalized anxiety and panic disorder. So that's also something that's weighing on me because I'm so nervous that something bad is going to happen. I make the worst scenarios out of the most beautiful situations, in this case, the birth of my child, right? And so what I found out at my appointment this week for 37 weeks was that it is not the doctors that don't want the support person in the OR, it's anesthesia. Now, why, I have no idea. Doctor didn't elaborate on that, so I'm not sure. I'm also not a medical professional. I am just giving you guys some information from what I'm experiencing and what my doctors are telling me, what I'm, you know, and what my procedures are for my birth. So racking my brains about this. And I must have called like 5 hospitals in New Jersey, and one of them being where I delivered Carson, which is owned by a different like group. I don't know what you call them. Like, you know, each hospital has like a name. So this hospital where I gave birth to Carson, because at one point of this, I was thinking of switching back to my old doctor, who they're an hour away from us, but I was like, maybe they'll take me as a patient and I'll just schedule my C-section with them, because the hospital was still this was 2 weeks ago, was still permitting, actually it was last week, sorry. They were still permitting the husband into the OR. I also called a hospital that's only like 10 minutes from my house, and they're owned by the same hospital that I gave birth to Carson in, and they're allowing for the support person in the OR. So now I'm like really getting upset because I'm like, why are other hospitals allowing it and my hospital is not allowing it? So I start thinking, and I'm like, I don't understand, because all of these people work in healthcare. All of these people work in a hospital that are treating patients with COVID-19, right? And I'm not saying that they're directly exposed to it, because they're working in maternity and labor and delivery, so there are not many reported cases of pregnant women having this. So my concern basically is that, though, they do have more of a chance of contracting COVID-19 than me or my husband. And I don't know what those people are doing after work. I don't know what they've been exposed to. It's probably my panic that makes me think, like, well, what if they're having symptoms and they're still going to work? And I know that there was like a news report on someone who was working in a hospital and had symptoms and tested positive, and they were still going to work every day. So it's like a little scary when I think of it that way, because the only person, or the only persons that I know where they have been for the past 25 days are me and my husband. And we haven't been anywhere. So it makes me like feel, okay, like I know that both of us don't have symptoms. I know both of us are 100% healthy and we're okay, and he still can't be there. So it's very, very upsetting, and I think it's the first thing that I think about when I wake up in the morning, and the last thing that I think about when I go to bed. I have been looking up ways to make your body go into labor naturally. I am not by all means trying to make myself go early, but I am trying to figure out ways that will get my body moving to be able to do a vaginal birth, because I was 10 days late with Carson, so I was not able to birth him naturally. I had to have the C-section. So basically, I could go into labor, the doctor said, and if I did, what would happen is that they would allow me to labor normally. They will not induce you. Excuse me. Sorry, excuse me. They will not induce you, and they will not let you labor too long. If you're not progressing fast enough, then they will put you to C-section, because there is a chance that your uterus can rupture. So we don't want that to happen. And I think that by the time this all does happen, if I do wind up needing the C-section, I think that I'll be able to come to terms with it, that he won't be able to be in the room with me. But right now it's still something that I'm trying to work on and work myself through, because it hurts. Because I want him to be there. So it is really hard being pregnant during this time. And I know we're all dealing with our own issues, and I'm not saying that mine are worse than yours or yours are worse than mine, you know, because we're all trying to cope with this in different ways, and we're all trying to just be okay, right? And make sure that we're safe. So, you know, these are just some of my fears and some of the things that I'm dealing with being pregnant during this pandemic. But on the bright side of all of this, on the bright side, I'm 37 weeks pregnant. This baby is moving like crazy. He is so low. Everything is a chore. Showering is a chore. Shaving my legs is a chore. Today I took a shower and I think I was probably in there forever because I don't have anywhere to place like my foot on, so I'm like one stroke on the leg and then I gotta stand up and then another. It's like it's literally a chore. Still getting my sciatic pain on the left side extremely bad. I think it's gotten worse over the past week or so. Like it's so horrendous and so painful. I am totally not that hungry. I did do a what I eat in the day video, which I didn't really eat too much in that video, but now I'm eating, like, my portions are so small I just can't fit it and I'm full so quick. What else? I have like just the back pain, the pressure that I could feel, and the kicks and the movements. This baby does not stop moving. He is like tumbling in there and I think he's like, get me out. Get me out now, mama. So I've been doing squats and definitely up and down the steps a lot and cleaning and bending and twisting and hoping that some of these moves that I'm doing are going to help my body progress, and maybe I'll be able to do this the natural way, like I said earlier. So I'm not eating that much. My patients have run thin, like thin. Everything is aggravating me. I need to take a lot of breaks. We are in the process of getting the boys' rooms together. And I'll do like a little bit of work and then I gotta take a break and lay down, and then I go back, and then so little by little everything is getting done. Chris is a huge help. He has done so much around this house to get us ready for this baby, and he's also like the real MVP because he takes Carson so I can get some rest, which is like heaven sent. You have no idea, or you do have an idea if you've been 37 weeks pregnant with a 2-year-old that does not sit still. You feel me, sister. So, but things are moving along. We have, I guess, 3 weeks left, or 2.5 weeks left really now at this point, because it's already Thursday and we're almost into our 38th week. So, but I'm really excited. I can't wait to see what this baby looks like. I can't wait to hold him. And I'm just really excited to be able to share all of this with you guys. And I really appreciate all of you watching and following along on this journey. It has not been easy, as you can tell, but we're almost there. We are in the home stretch, so, you know, I have nothing other than all of this chaos that's happening. I can't complain because life is good, and I have to keep reminding myself of that, and so do you, that we together will get through this. It is not the end of the world. It is going to get better. Just that right now we all need to definitely stay home, take care of our families, and protect ourselves so that we can flatten the curve and we can stop the spread of this virus. So I really thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you made it this far, you're the real MVP. Thank you for watching. And if you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, I would love for you guys to hit the subscribe button and join our family and our journey through parenthood, motherhood, and just everything in between. And if you've been here for a while, thanks for really being a part of this with me. It's because of you guys that I continue doing what I do. And if you loved this video, give it a thumbs up and drop me a comment below. Let me know if you are pregnant and dealing with any stresses or any issues with your hospitals and what you guys know. I'd love to hear from you because I know that we are not alone in this. We just need to support each other. So thanks again so much for watching, and I look forward to the next video, and that's where I'll see you guys.